Just about all of my Battlefield friends have played the 2007 Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. COD 4 was such a genre-defining game. Back then, it was a bit more militaristic with its presentation, and since then, the franchise has been getting progressively faster and more arcade-like. And for those of us that prefer a shooter that feels a little bit more grounded in reality or has more strategic components to it, we checked out the next few games in the franchise, but nothing really seemed to come close to Call of Duty 4. It just kept getting more and more arcade-like and further away of the game that we initially fell in love with. Obviously, the franchise has become a juggernaut of gaming, and who am I to criticize their stylistic choices, as it certainly brought their studios great success. But the gamer in me who loved COD 4 never felt like the franchise ever went back to the game that embodied what I like so much from the early years. However, what I've just seen and heard has me thinking that the next COD may be exactly what I've been waiting for from the franchise since 2007. This year's Call of Duty title, not yet released, is a total reimagining of the franchise's original breakout title, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. However, it's renamed as Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The game uses a totally new engine and brings back key characters from the original game like Soap and Price. A full multiplayer reveal is currently scheduled for August 1st, but yesterday, Activision revealed the game's 2v2 mode called Gunfight. It's basically Modern Warfare 3's face-off mode reworked. It features small-scale maps specific to the mode itself. Both teams have identical inventory loadouts that seem to be randomized between rounds. Healing is disabled, so any damage taken remains throughout the round. Each round is 40 seconds long, and the first team to win 6 rounds wins the match. If the teams are still alive after 40 seconds, an overtime phase adds a central flag that can be captured. Whoever captures or kills the enemy team within 10 seconds wins. The gameplay was revealed as part of a special event with select streamers on Twitch. You can check out their full stream videos on their streaming channels, which will be linked in the description. Now, based on what we've seen yesterday and so far in the trailer, it looks like Modern Warfare is a nearly complete overhaul of the classic COD experience. Visually, it bears a striking resemblance to modern titles like Rainbow Six Siege and Battlefield. Character animations are much more natural and dynamic than past games. The sound design is much more meaty and realistic than any COD titles I've played to date. And it looks like the weapons have some much more significant recoil. Now, it's hard to gauge actual performance of the game based on Twitch streams, but it did look like there might be a 60 FPS lock most of the time. That said, there's no telling what the game was actually running on. The heads-up elements and icons are clearly from the PlayStation 4, but it could have been running on the base PS4, the PS4 Pro, or even a PC dev kit, which is actually pretty common for a lot of these events. When I've gone to other events in the past, they plug in an Xbox controller, they get the Xbox UI stuff up on screen, but it's actually running on a PC in the background. Past COD titles in the series have struggled to maintain a locked frame rate on base console hardware. Hopefully, Modern Warfare's enhanced visuals don't come at the expense of performance. I'm very curious to know more about the new engine, as it could mean a lot of performance improvements on the PC side of the equation, plus better visuals. This is kind of an exciting time for PC gamers, especially if you're a Battlefield gamer, and I want to talk about what it means to me as a Battlefield gamer. Clearly, with Battlefield 5, the franchise has been letting a lot of its core fan base down. Bugginess, gameplay elements being out of balance, basically ignoring the modern military genre for many years now. Battlefield players have wanted a return to the good old days, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 for a while, and it just hasn't been happening. DICE hasn't been delivering. All of a sudden, we've got a COD game going back to its roots, something that many Battlefield players, myself included, remember very fondly. And it looks cool. It looks good. If they can replicate and reimagine that COD 4 experience in an updated 2019 way and support it well on the PC platform for PC gamers, holy smokes, this could be the next big game. This could nab that modern military experience well before DICE gets there with their game, provided that they're actually making, say, Bad Company 3 as their next title. In fact, it seems to be the trend these days is COD is just scooping all the genres from Battlefield before they even get there. Aside from Battlefield 1, which was World War I and a very risky one, COD scooped World War II from them, and it seems like they might scoop a modern military shooter once again. Now, obviously, COD is not going to offer a massive Battlefield-esque type experience with tons of vehicles and 64-player servers. At least I don't think so. It could be some sort of surprise announcement that they are going for that competing market, but there's a huge portion of Battlefield's audience that just wants the infantry-based game modes. I mean, look at Operation Metro, Lockers, some of the most popular maps in the military Battlefield gaming lineup were just infantry mashups, just tons and tons of infantry fighting against each other. COD can provide that experience, probably on a slightly smaller scale, but they can ramp up the pacing based on map size and map design and whatnot. This could be something that really pulls away the Battlefield fan base. And I mean, me as a huge Battlefield fanboy looking at this next COD game, like, oh, hello there. Like, this is what I've been wanting. DICE has left their modern military fanboys high and dry for a while now, and even if they did announce a new modern military game based on their company's recent performance, I don't know how excited I'd be for it. I think I'd be like, well, I'll wait and see what you do with this engine before I get pumped for any of your next games, because of how badly you've screwed up and how many design decisions I don't agree with. Even with Battlefield 1's much better game performance and much healthier game launch, the designs in that game really threw me for a loop and just did not cater to what I liked about the franchise in total. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at a COD game that's got scope glint. Now you can use whatever weapon you're holding as a melee weapon, so you just hit them with your gun, which is a feature I've always liked. There's cool takedown animations. The audio looks better. The overall animation system looks a lot better. You're not using jump jets and wall running and all this crazy fast-paced gameplay. It looks like back to the basics type approach to the game. You got my attention, Call of Duty. I'm ready. Let's see what you got. The timing of this could not be more perfect for the Battlefield fan that feels like they've been neglected for a while in the modern military space. And if COD plays their cards right and somehow creates a game that both caters to their fan base and the Battlefield fan base, they could be looking at a massive title on their hands. It's hard to predict because I've also seen people online saying that, hey, this latest COD game looks really slow-paced and much more tactical and not exactly what I've been used to or enjoying about the previous COD game. So there's clearly a big Call of Duty audience that does like that fast-paced wall-running, jump jet craziness, laser gun type gameplay. And that's fine. The franchise has built up that audience over the years. So maybe they're shooting themselves in the foot with this type of game. I've seen a lot of skepticism and back and forth within the COD community itself. But from the Battlefield perspective, or from the gamer who likes the more strategic or the more tactical approach to first-person shooters, this is an amazing-looking game so far. Now, as a Battlefield fan, one of the biggest questions I still have about the new Call of Duty game is, how is it going to play in the larger 32-player game modes? The 16v16, is it going to still have that kind of decently paced, methodical, tactical approach to gaming, or is it going to be like the traditional COD game where it's just grenade spam, people jumping off of things and shooting rocket launchers at each other all the time? Are people going to get ridiculous kill streaks that clear out servers and just kind of ruin game modes or make them too spammy? It's hard to say because a lot of the elements that make COD are still things that I don't necessarily love. So how much of that stuff is going to invade and maybe detract from some of the more methodical gameplay? That's what I'm really curious about, because the 2v2 stuff looks cool. It doesn't have all that added on crazy kill streak stuff from the larger format game modes. But once we go larger format, what's it going to play like? That will probably be one of the biggest determining factors in whether or not this game's going to steal a lot of my time and attention. If the large format game modes play extremely well, very methodical, less spammy, not as based on kill streaks, then cool. I'm probably going to be super into it. But if it plays out like airstrikes everywhere and people just chucking grenades as soon as they spawn in, it could be one of those things that I'm like, okay, you know, like this looks really cool. It plays really well in 2v2, but as soon as we go larger format, it just feels like any old COD game. Then that might be what holds it back for me. So that's my biggest question, my biggest concern about the game right now, and we'll just have to wait and see more. Again, that August 1st major multiplayer reveal will probably show a lot of that, so hopefully it'll answer some of those questions. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about the latest COD game. Is it something that you're thinking about hopping onto, checking out? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.